All right, I'm going to start the recorder. I'm going to go out to.
How do I get the glare out of my glasses?
Okay, so a trick is, right, is to go like this, turn your glasses on an angle, tilt them up. There you go. Like that. You kind of cheat it.
Okay.
There we go. Going to go to Facebook Live. See if we can get this. I'm so grateful for you guys to be able to join us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we love this stuff. We're so good at it.
What user opted out of this platform? Oh, come on.
I'm going to post that we're going live too.
Oh,
we're going live. I don't want to wear my
hang on, folks. We've got a technical difficulty here. I can't believe. Come on.
Should have matched my chair.
It does match.
I can't believe somebody is blocking us. That is so horrible. Who opted out? That is weird. Hey, folks, I'm not able to get us to, well, I'll see what I can do. I'm not able to get us to go Facebook Live at our other page, but I'm going to have us go to my personal page.
I could probably go Facebook Live to ours.
Can you?
I could, yeah.
All right, let's do that. I'll do mine.
Hold on. Live. I wonder if I can record my screen though. Oh, you know what? I had this issue.
What's that?
I had this problem when I did it and I used my daughter's computer. For some reason. Now I can't find you guys. Check the gate.
Do you think it's because of her settings or something?
It might be an update. Hey Max.
Yeah.
I lost my Zoom.
What?
I lost my Zoom. I was gonna try to put it live, and now they're gone. I still hear them though. Mike.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I'm going to go live and tell everybody to go to Mike Camoin at me on Facebook to find this, and if you can go live.
Yeah, I don't think I can. When I did the live with Boston Casting.
The meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Ange, I'm going to get you this Boston Casting. Oh, but you use your phone. We have to get you to use your computer and put this on.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, because no one wants to, I mean, they want to see your house, but you don't want everyone to see your house.
Yeah.
All these weathermen and newscasters, I'm always like, where are they? Are they in the basement? Is that a den? Is it a home office?
Okay, so I posted on our website to go to Mike Camoin for the Facebook Live, and there we are. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let everybody in.
How many people are there?
At least a dozen. Maybe more. We got 14.
Can you tell who they are or where they're from?
I can tell who they are, but I'm going to mute everybody in just a sec. Okay, so now I need to turn. Stand by, folks. We need to mute everybody, and then I'll bring our guests back.
Hi.
You good?
Yeah, I want to know how to go live, but
What do you mean?
I'd love to put this on Boston Casting, but I had to use Molly's.
Zoom? I
We
like
can
you.
also give you the rebroadcast of it.
Okay. Oh, cool.
You're welcome.
Hi, Monica.
I love your background.
Thanks. Isn't that cool?
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you, and welcome everyone to Check the Gate. One-on-one with the Northeast Filmmakers Lab. I'm Mike Camoin, and I'll be your host today. Check the Gate is a weekly series with industry experts talking art, craft, business, and entertainment. Hosted by Capital Cinema Cultural Exchange, a charitable nonprofit organization that empowers emerging filmmakers to complete and present their projects in a rapidly changing media landscape by leveraging world-class industry expertise through the Northeast Filmmakers Lab. One of our goals is to become a year-round resource, and one of the things that our filmmakers have asked over the past 6 years is one-on-ones. So we'll continue with special thanks to our sponsors, Price Chopper, Marker 32, Albany Wine and Dine for the Arts. Special thanks to co-producer Eric Bullweiler. And by Crew Me Up, building a digital community for filmmakers to connect, create, collaborate. crewmeup.com. Check the gate, for those who don't know the term, comes from shooting on film. The DP will check the lens to make sure there are no impurities that would impact the last take. When the gate is good, production moves forward. So let's move on. Today's guests are from Boston Casting, Angela Perry, CSA. I'm going to ask you to explain what that is, those titles. You are the owner and founder of Boston Casting and co-founder of the Massachusetts Production Coalition. 30 years casting experience. Angela has worked with the nation's top directors, advertising agencies, and production companies in Boston, New York, and Los Angeles. A 5-time Artois Award nominee and first-time winner in 2020. Congratulations for the
Yep.
Knives Out. Angela has worked in local casting in over 100 feature films, 1,000 commercials, hit television series, most notably the Academy Award-nominated films American Hustle and The Fighter. And I can't wait to talk to you about both of those films. Her co-partner, co-pilot Lisa Lobel is with us with over 25 years of casting experience, co-owner of Boston Casting and co-owner of the Media Performance Division of Boston Casting and Acting School at Boston Casting. She is a frequently featured speaker for the Massachusetts Production Coalition, the Independent Film Festival, Boston, New York City's Winter Film Awards, and the Savannah Film Festival. She enjoys speaking to students, actors on careers in casting and acting. She is also the recipient of the 2018 Woman of the Year Imagineer Awards. Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
She cast the critically acclaimed indie Donald Clyde Stronger, Jeff Bowman story, the teen thriller Slender Man, and the hit Netflix series The Society. This year, her work can be seen in the upcoming Free Guy and in Sound of Metal, winner Best Picture at the 2019 Zurich International Film Festival. Before we open it up to questions, which folks can submit here via chat on Zoom, as well Facebook Live, we'll do our best. My first question to you is, how are both of you doing?
Wow. You wanna go first, Lisa?
What?
You want to go first?
Yeah, it's challenging, of course. I think we're all challenged. I try every day to just look at what I'm grateful for. I've got my young adult children all home with me, 18, 20, 22. Probably the last time we'll all be together under one roof for an extended period of time, so I'm grateful for that. I'm not grateful for all the laundry and the cleaning.
Right.
I'd rather be at work, honestly. But you know, we're trying to keep connected to our staff and to the actors through social media, and you know, just trying to make something not normal feel a little bit normal.
Well said. How about you, Angela? How are you doing?
So I'm gonna need a Goodwill dumpster. I've been cleaning every closet in this house. I actually threw my back out cleaning today. So I can't wait to go back to work. Luckily, we got a job, so we're gonna have people self-tape and we're gonna continue to work, which is so exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Is that a commercial? Is that
You know, most of the jobs we do, we have to sign NDAs just like actors do. So probably can't talk too much about it, but it's a season 2 of a show that's coming out. And I need kids 12 to 15, and I need them from all over the country. So as of tomorrow, you should go to bostoncasting.com and click on what's new or what's up next. There's some tag, and all of the information about the show will be there. So it's pretty exciting.
So is that project going to be handled through?
They've hired casting directors across the country. So I'm in charge of New England.
Gotcha.
But if I get kids from, you know, upstate New York or Florida or wherever, they're open to it.
Outstanding.
Mhm.
Outstanding. So you heard it here first, folks. What projects were you working on when coronavirus first hit, and you know, what was the impact of that?
We were working on a lot. We're like, I think we had a record number of projects, don't you, Anne?
3 feature films and 3 television series.
All at the same time. So that was, we were busy, and it all just went one day. They all just pushed
Yeah.
day after day after day.
It was like they were all falling off the cliff.
I know, but we're hopeful because they're all coming back. I mean, they're emailing us regularly, calling us regularly. You know, we're doing another push, but people are still here. Producers are still living here. You know, they're waiting to just gear up again. So I'm not worried that it's all just gonna come back.
That's great. And folks here tuning in, if you have a question, feel free to throw it in on the chat, and I'll forward it on to our guests. What else has been the sort of the impact there in Boston Casting as a national company? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
The impact during the virus, or the impact that we have before the virus?
Let's go pre-COVID-19. Let's just go there. Tell us a little bit about the company. You've been at this for...
All right, so here's the elevator pitch. Boston Casting's been around for about 28, 29 years. I've been in casting about 35. I know, I don't look it. And we have the largest database and the largest stable of casting directors. We have 8 casting directors on file. We have an acting school. We have done over 100 feature films. We've done a gazillion television series and reality shows.
That's an actual figure, gazillion.
Gazillion. It is.
I know.
And counting. It's like we're the go-to people when Hollywood wants to come to New England. And because of our tax incentive, we, you know, years ago, we used to just shoot like the foliage and snow. But now they come and they shoot the whole movie here, 3 to 6 months worth of work for local actors and local crew. And we have 3 studios, and we're just the largest company in the Northeast. We're the go-to people.
Yeah, I'll add to that too. The database that we use for actors, everyone can get a free profile. So anyone and everyone can be included in our database with the 2 photos, their resume, contact info, searchable, everything. So it's, there are upgraded versions, but everyone can get it for free forever. So that's why our database has just grown, and it's up to 60, 70,000 New England people are in there. So it's good.
That's amazing. Yeah, having that database is key. And you mentioned having 8 casting directors, so you outsource to others. Is that?
No, we have 8
staff.
in-house staff, and we have 3 to 4 teams of extras casting directors that do all the walk-on background. Yeah, it's a huge operation.
So are you able to retain your current staff, given the climate, given the halt?
Luckily.
How is your company handling that?
They're on a temporary, everyone's sort of temporarily furloughed because all the projects have stopped.
Yep.
So just like everyone else, we're, sort of keeping everybody on hold for now.
Yeah.
We've been able to keep our acting school going through Zoom like this. Our teachers are still going strong, teaching. People were finding that actors really want to be creative and use this time in a positive way, and, work on their craft and get some one-on-one time with our teachers and casting directors. So that's been a good thing too.
What a great tool this is, this Zoom thing. I just discovered it, 3 weeks ago. I'd heard about it before, but it's just, what a resource it is for our industry.
Yes. And for our friends, I've been going to Zoom birthday parties. It's been so fun.
I know. I have a Zoom set up with all of my camp friends from when I was a little kid who live all around the country. We never would have thought to do that. And
Right.
now we're going to do that this weekend. So I think there's going to be a lot of positive when this is all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's changing our industry. It's changing everyone's industry. It's changing how we connect. And here we are, from Albany to Boston. And this is truly wonderful, given that, New York has just been hit the hardest so far. The record number, bring us down for a minute, but I'll bring us back up. But obviously, the industry is really hurting down in New York. So it's really great to be able to reach out to both of you and have you on today. And it's really good to hear that you're in business to move forward when things get back up running again.
Oh yeah, we expect to get right out of the gate. As soon as he says you can go to work, we'll be with our sneakers on flying over there. I miss it.
Yeah.
I miss the chaos. I miss the actors. I miss the hustle. I miss the bustle.
Yeah.
I miss Dunkin' Donuts.
Seeing all the actors every day. I miss that.
So take us through, go back 28 years ago. You formed this company. The two of you somehow connect, and just bring us on a short journey of how do you go from your company to having this large staff and where you are. What are some of the milestones that say, yeah, that was a turning point for us?
Well, years ago, I started the company because I loved the business and I was an actress and I couldn't get any work because I had a really thick Boston accent. So I trudged along, waitressing at night and doing casting during the day because I had worked for other casting directors across the country and in Europe. And I learned the business and I just loved the business. And, commercial after commercial after commercial. And then I got a huge project and brought Lisa in and we hit it off. And then we just grew this company together. It was a turning point when we decided to move out of our Boylston Street office and move down to Allston, which we call it LA, Lower Allston. And we were so scared. And I remember her saying to me, we just have to do this. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So we bit the bullet and took on all this huge space. And then Lisa really concentrated on building the school, and we built the school, and then it just took off. And then it just took
Yeah.
off.
Build it, they will come.
Right, right. We stayed positive. We were honest. That's the thing. People trust you when you have credibility and you're honest. And we were honest. We were straight shooters. We never tried to screw anybody. And we built a nice business and people respected that. And we still have a sterling business in this town and are highly respected by clients and actors alike and our competitors.
So I can't help but agree with you on that honesty component. I do location scouting. My last picture was Netflix. I'm on a picture now that got shut down. And if one thing goes south, all your locations are going to go south because it just spreads so quickly.
Right.
What is it in the casting business that honesty is really important? Is it about the contracts? Is it about what's going to happen? Is it how long you're going to be?
It's all, you know, there's always like an actor, like, is he cleared to work? Is the contract right for him? Is, you know, are you charging the client enough money, too much money, not enough money? You know, what, there's always all these little things that, like a director will say to us, is he a good actor? And sometimes you just have to be real and say if that guy's ready or not, because you don't want him to get on set and then choke, and then whose fault is it? It's your fault. So little things like that.
Awesome. So, you know, in looking at your history, you seem to have this wonderful relationship with David O. Russell. You've done 3 pictures with him, and can you talk about how that began? I know he went to Amherst, or I read that he went to Amherst College. When did you make that connection with him, and you have a nice successful thing going there?
Luckily, he came here because of the tax incentive to do The Fighter, and The Fighter was such a challenge. I mean, did you see those sisters? We had to find 7 tough women that looked Irish, that were scary but could act. And that was the biggest challenge. And he just constantly pushed us so that we would find what he needed, because he had it in his head. And luckily there was a documentary about Dickie Eklund. So that was helpful. And then the lead casting director, Sheila Jaffe, sent me to Lowell to meet the whole family. And I spent some time with them. So they were in my head. I knew, and I'm from the tough section of Cambridge, and I knew those kind of people. So I knew what he wanted. And I just dug through that city. I think we saw 500 girls for the roles of the sisters. And then bingo. And then once I nailed it, he loved me. So that was, and he comes back again and again because he knows he can get what he wants here in Boston, because I won't give up.
Well, I was going to say,
what he
if I can add one thing about Angela, you know, there are times when we'll be in the office like, we just can't do this. We just can't do this. And she is always the one in the back saying, oh, yes, you can. Try a little harder. One more week, one more day, one more hour. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And we're like, okay. And, you know, we don't give up.
Because the rewards of when you find it, like seeing those sisters on screen, and then those sisters went to the SAG Awards, Jimmy Kimmel, The Late Show. Yeah. They went everywhere because no one could believe that they were real, that they were actors, and that they weren't just like off the street. Although, yeah, they were all actors. They were all actors. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they were. There were 2 from LA, 3 from LA, and 4 from Boston. So it was great. Yeah, I love working with him. He challenges me, boy. He challenges me in a big way. It's a highlight of my career.
I had a similar experience working for Derek Cianfrance and finding the last scene in the movie Place Beyond the Pines. And I had to find an open road going into the mountains with, basically looking like Colorado and upstate New York. And I must have hit every farm, mountainside in all of upstate New York. And as soon as I found it, he said, keep looking. And he sent me out for like more days because I want to see everything.
Right.
And because I want to make sure that's the best thing for my movie. And that moment taught me a lot about sort of how you're comparing these great directors and their persistence of vision in what they want.
This is what I've learned. You never say, oh my God, wait till you see this, you're gonna love it. Because they always go, it's okay. What else do you have? You let them think, you let them say to you, oh my God.
This is it, right.
Act like you have 20 more in your back pocket.
Right.
So I'm going to throw out a question to you. Can you, there is a question here. If you're just starting out, and how do people break into this business? What advice do you have for the unexperienced?
I think there's always background work. You don't need much experience for that. That's a good place to start. Training, you should get some training. There's acting classes not only at our place, but all around the city. Improv classes are fantastic as well. We have some. There's some at different improv studios as well. Theater. Anytime you can get on stage. And, be around it. Join groups, join networks, join actors groups, register with all the casting companies. I don't know. All those things.
Take a breaking into the business class. Everybody offers them.
Yeah, Angela does a breaking into the business class. And, keep at it. I always tell my kids, you can't, they were in high school, you can't make the varsity soccer team if you haven't played soccer your whole life. So, you can't just show up one day and make the varsity team. So same as acting. As much as people want to believe, someone's pulled off the street with no experience, it really is very rare, or if ever, that happens. So make it your job, make it your business, work at it every single day, and get better and better.
Right.
So thank you, Mia, for that question. Follow up to that for Matt. Who doesn't really want to be a pest to you, but he wants to be able to, make sure he's on top of things. And he knows that you're busy. How can he show initiative and show some balance without being a pest as to whether or not, there's a role for him coming up?
You want to take that, Lisa?
I will if you want. If you don't want, I think you can email us sometimes. Not daily, but every once in a while. Check in by email. We all have it's our first name and then at Boston Casting. You did a play or something. You want to tell us about it? Send an email, postcards. Sometimes people send postcards.
Or invite us to the play. Because Hillary loves to go to the plays. Me, I don't have time for plays, but Hillary loves the plays. And also, I think changing your photo, if you don't hear from us, you need to change your photo on Agency Pro. Not meaning that you have to go out and get a whole new headshot. Just do a lifestyle photo. Go out in your yard and take something different, just so it's different. So, because we're in there 24/7. We're in there from 7:30 in the morning. I found one of the sisters in the fighter at 4 a.m. So we're in there, 8 of us, not counting the extras people. So there's sometimes 12 of us in there, 7 a.m., 24 hours a day, like crazy. So if you're like Joe Schmo, you'd be like, oh, look, Joe Schmo has a new photo. Right. Oh my God, let me click on this and see what Joe Schmo's been up to.
And keep your resume updated too. Anytime you do anything new, go in there. It takes 2 seconds. Put it on there.
We read those.
Those are things we read them. Yeah, every time. And if we see like, oh wow, so and so's done all this new stuff, let's bring them in. I haven't seen them in a while.
Right.
So Hannah asks, first of all, she's grateful that we're doing this and curious about what you would suggest actors do during this time. What is something that you would find helpful for actors to be working on during this time? Should they be working on their monologue? Should be?
Yeah. You should go work on a monologue, or you should get some commercials offline. You should just be keeping it, this is what I call it, keeping it fresh. Because I had a friend that when I was an actress, and I went to Emerson with him, and he was so amazing. He was so amazing. Then he got into real estate, and he makes a ton of money doing real estate. That consumes him. Kind of gave up his acting, but I still bring him in for stuff that I think he's appropriate for.
Oh, not good anymore.
Not good anymore. He fell off the bike, doesn't keep it fresh, didn't keep, even though he was in real estate, he should still be learning monologues once a week or once a month, just keeping it fresh, because it is like anything else. If you stop ice skating, it takes a little while. Stop riding a bike, takes a little while. You can do it, but it takes a little while to get back on the horse, kind of.
Yeah.
And I say that with the Boston accent, the horse.
And then I would also look for these acting, these Zoom things like this. We have classes that have a lot of training. If you don't want to invest money, then look for stuff like this that's free. We're kind of doing both stuff that has real, like, individualized training with a teacher, as well as these kind of like Zoom meetups and talking to people and practice.
Right. And I bet there's like a lot of there's those actor Facebook groups. I bet they're doing Zoom and stuff now.
Exactly. And you could read scripts like this and, get together with a group of friends. Right. And
here's another thing I recommend while you're home is get a subscription to Backstage. It's like the Bible. It has such great information for actors on how to take your career to the next level, the new things that are coming out, the innovative ways, the apps that are out for actors, tips on memorization. There's auditions in the back that you can submit to. It's the Bible. It was the Bible back when I was an actor.
Yeah, you can read every article in there, and none of it would be a waste of time. Every single article is valuable in there.
Right.
This question comes in from Kelsey. Most of my body of work just happens to be commercials. How do you recommend I display commercials on my resume? Good question. I know some casting directors say put commercial conflicts available upon request, but I'm afraid if I do this, it will look like I don't have as much experience as I do. Thank you and miss you. Thoughts about for actors who have some?
I mean, conflicts are, I don't know if this, I see the question here. I don't know if she's actually talking about conflicts, because conflicts are, if you have a TD Bank commercial running, then we can't call you in for a Bank of America commercial. That would be a conflict. So TD Bank sort of has you for all banking. So we have to make sure before we book you that you have no conflicts. I don't think that it has to be on your resume, because the conflict is only for a certain amount of time. They can't have you forever. So once that stops running, then you're available to do other work. And then the rest of her display commercials. In Agency Pro, we have a place for commercials, film and TV, commercials, theater, and list everything, all of your commercials. Definitely put them there under the commercial part.
Right, because it's Boston. It's not like New York where they're like conflicts upon request. Give me a break. In Boston, we need to see what you've done. We need to see how experienced you are. And if you haven't done a lot of film, but you've been in 12 commercials, oh, by Jesus, we're gonna wanna know you.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you should, if you're coming in for a Bank of America though, and you have a bank commercial running, just let us know or email us. Hey, should I still come in? I might have a conflict.
Right.
And we'll take it from there.
What was your most favorite casting opportunity that you've had? I don't know if you can single out anyone, but and why? What makes it a fun experience for you?
Well, I always loved the dancing and singing auditions. We did a dance audition. What was that for? Remember, we had all the fly girls in, and I jumped right in with them. I love the dancing and the singing. what one's Lisa?
I think one comes to my head in the indie, which will be out soon, called The Sound of Metal, where most of the casting we did was deaf actors. So we were in our initial meeting with the director and producers, and we're around the table talking, and we were about to be hired, and they said, and you know, all of the cast will be deaf. And Angela and I were like, sure, yeah, that's great. And then we were like, shit, how are we ever going to do this? So when you pull something like that off, oh, and there's one character, Jen, deaf, funny, gay. So we had a deaf lesbian who also needed to be really funny with stand-up experience. And we found her, and she was phenomenal. And this movie is phenomenal. And you do something like
it's not
that.
on right now that we could be watching it. Oh.
I know, it's coming out soon, but they're re-editing stuff.
Right.
So when you get something random like that, where you're in the meeting going, how am I'm never going to be able to do this. And then you do it.
So Spencer Confidential, here's a funny story. So Spencer Confidential. So I had a prison scene, I had a construction scene, I needed Latino gangs, I needed every sort of guy with a scar, you know. So I do an open call for tough looking guys, mob guys, construction guys, just tough looking guys. If you're in a motorcycle gang, come on down. So I had all these tough looking guys, and I had one guy come up to me and show me his prison record. He made copies of his prison record for me to prove he was a bad dude. And he was. I think I put him in the movie. That movie, Spencer Confidential, fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you gotta rent it. It is so good. We're gonna come back with 2 and 3. We have another series coming out called Defending Jacob, April 24th. Amazing. Chris Evans, and it's I can't say true story. It's based on it's fictional. It's a book called Defending Jacob, but it is based. It all takes place in Cambridge Courthouse. Which, hello to all my friends in Cambridge. It is so true to what went on in Cambridge Courthouse. And
Newton, that's my town.
With that, and Newton too, right. He lived in Newton, but works in Cambridge Courthouse. So that's going to be tremendous. But you got to see Spencer Confidential. Really amazing. Because it's Mark Wahlberg at his best. It's Mark Wahlberg, action hero, but he's also funny. He's kind of funny in it, so it's good.
Is it on Netflix, Ange?
Yeah.
I think you just get it on Netflix. Yeah.
Yep. And then we've got a bunch of shows on Quibi. I don't know if our show Emma has come out yet on Quibi, but that should be coming out any minute.
And you know, Free Guy pushed because of the movie. It was supposed to be the big summer blockbuster opening July 3rd, and they're pushing it to December.
Oh, what a
yeah, I guess they're just worried people won't be able to get into the movies yet, or it won't be going. So that's a bummer.
So along those lines, we'll sort of dip back into the dark side of things. A question comes in from John Russell Kring on Facebook. What do you guess the effect on the business will be as a result of COVID-19? So you've got movies pushing, you've got some, what else? How is it?
I want to have a meeting with Lisa about this, because I have my concerns, depending on how much this goes. I think that people are going to have to start perfecting their self-tape. They're going to have to start perfecting their self-tape capabilities. I need a clean background. I need good sound. I don't want any glare in your glasses like mine. I don't know how to figure that out. And you're going to have somebody that's a good reader reading with you. I know you have no glare, Lisa. A good reader, like you have to have a good outfit, like just like you were going to an audition. You're going to have to take it really serious and figure out how to upload it the right way so that we can access it and not make the file too big and all this stuff. So there's going to have to be a whole directions on our webpage. Yeah. But I think when we initially go back, if people are scared to come to the office, They have to self-tape. Or
Yeah. And
They-
and I think that we'll make arrangements too, and obviously we'll have this chat at another time offline, but you know, less crowded, really spreading out our auditions where, you know, one person, one casting director, one cameraman in a
right.
big room, you know, that's it.
No
I
more
think there,
giant calls.
Yeah.
Somebody interrupt you. Spencer Confidential. I saw 4,000 people.
Yeah.
4,000 people in one day.
right.
Jeanette,
And I do have one positive thing. I feel like the film industry is going to be one of the first industries back, and it's going to bring a lot of revenue. And obviously, you know, the state is going to be recovering for a long time. So I am hopeful that when this all comes back, this will be positive for the film tax incentives, which could potentially, you know, we've got that sunset clause, which they could potentially be taken away. But I think that it's going to start booming again, and it's going to be really good for our state. So I think that that will hopefully secure those tax credits.
absolutely, they're vital. And yesterday we had an attorney, Corky Kessler, on from Chicago. And another tip to give out our, you know, our group here, because some of our actors are also producers, some are writers. And the suggestion is, in terms of the tax incentive on the federal level, tax code 181 and 168, is before the end of 2019 is go shoot one page of dialogue. And if folks wanted to hear this 20-minute discussion about what they also could be doing on the production side, is go shoot one page of dialogue. It doesn't have to be your primary cast. You don't have to have an investor. But to be grandfathered into the federal tax incentives, which attract investors, you'll want to get this one page of dialogue before the end of this year. So I just throw that out for anybody who's out there who's also a producer. Jeanette reacted, "Oh my God, December 11th, that far, huh?" Things are being pushed.
Yeah.
That was from earlier. We had another question in about getting started in casting actors. What does it take to get good at it? How do you know when you've found the right actor for a job? We talked a little bit about that. I don't know if there's anything further you want to share about that.
When the hair on the back of my neck stands up. That's my thing. I know it when I see it. You can't. We're people brokers. Lisa and I are people brokers. We move 100,000 people around. We know everything about that person that's in our database. We know if they're an extra. We know if they can do one line. We know if they can do two lines. We know if they can do a paragraph. And we know if they can do a scene with John Krasinski. And we know it. And we gauge them that way. And then we watch people as they grow. Oh, you've moved up a level now. Now you can do 3 lines. That sort of thing.
And we used to audition John Krasinski. He was our go-to guy back when he was in
Yeah,
Boston.
him in his first big commercial.
I know. Oh, and then I'll piggyback onto that. I think actors are always second guessing themselves, that when they don't get a role, they think they did something wrong or that they bombed it. And I think what we're doing is trying out different fits for that role. And you could have come in and given a fantastic audition, but like Angela said, until you feel it, that it's the right fit, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just wasn't exactly the right fit for that scene or that role. And it was nothing that you did or didn't do. You just have to wait and watch and watch and watch and see a lot of them. And then it just feels right. You feel it, or the director feels it.
Is there some truth to you were born for that role?
There's what do you call those, diamonds in the rough, and what do you call those, the people that the one time, oh, there's a name for it, I should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah.
And there are roles that have certainly escalated someone's career where if they were never given that role, they certainly would never be where they are today. So that's sort of a career making role that happens all the time.
Right.
So back to COVID, we've got a question on Facebook from Rich Lovrich, who is one of our board members, also in the business. There is no social distancing in makeup, hair, and costume. Will updated regulations and practices be enough moving forward? Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
that's a little scary, yeah.
It's not our
I haven't even
department.
thought of
Thank
that.
God. We have our own department. Yeah, hopefully they'll tell people to do more of it themselves, and I'm sure there'll be systems in place.
I wonder how early a medic might be needed on production. You know, usually it's the start of principal photography, but perhaps it needs to be, someone needs to be involved sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know, protocols, people might need to sort of be there during our sessions, or, you know, just making sure things are safe.
Oh, I remember what I was trying to say. It's the it factor. And
Yeah.
yes, it exists. People have the it factor.
Yeah, and I think you're born with it, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
This from John Romeo, who's also on our board. What percentage of casting that you do is featured roles as opposed to background?
Oh, 70% featured, 30% background. Well, and that's not true, because
I mean, you
we do
talking
all the
about
background
days,
on all of our
or-
projects. Yeah, so I'd say 50-50.
Yeah, there's days, you know, on a feature, we might have 4 principal actors and 400 background, and we've cast all of that. But I think yeah, I mean, the principal roles take more time per day per role. I don't know. It's hard to measure that.
So, a follow-up to that, any advice to breaking the ceiling between, say, commercials and film? Monica can book a commercial, no problem, but have yet to land that film role.
And you know, I know Monica, and it's not for lack of not trying, because she comes out to everything. It's just,
She does a great job.
yeah, it's gonna hit sooner or later. I'm really surprised by that fact, to be honest with you, because you're so good. You're so good.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
just
there
gotta,
is- you are
it's a
in
numbers game.
Yeah, and I think that, I don't want to say compete, but I do think the commercial, the people I would call in, as well as you for a commercial, might not be the same people I would call in with you for a film. Do you agree, Ange? Like,
Yeah.
they're
Our film people, we pull from the theater, because they just have that depth that sometimes the commercial actors don't have. But Monica has the most experience of that commercials crew.
and the
that we
pretty
have.
factor.
Yeah,
Some of those
pretty
theater
Right,
actors don't have the
character.
pretty factor that a lot of the commercial actors
Mhm.
have. So you really are, it's kind of apples and oranges, Monica, but
Maybe
you're
yeah.
doing both.
Maybe you should do a show, Monica. Maybe you should do a show. Have you done any theater? And then go a little deeper, maybe.
Excellent.
But I think you're great.
Excellent. And, you know, and along those lines, I mean, right now, everybody's got to learn to keep their.
She's in a show. She just got canceled.
Uh,
Oh, that's funny. Okay, good. So you're doing all the right things, Monica. Just, it's a numbers game. Get as many feature film auditions as you possibly can. If you're not getting called in by the casting directors, send an email. Hey, don't forget about me. I get a lot of those.
Awesome. We've got a comment just about the federal tax incentive. They found it helpful. You can go to, for a replay, you can go to Facebook.com on Capital Cinema Cultural Exchange, but also on YouTube. Check the gate. We'll put all that out. We'll put this clip out there as well, so others can take this in. Anything else you could recommend? I know I said we'd be on for about 20 minutes, and we've gone a little bit over that by about 25 minutes. So anything else that you might want to say to folks who are tuning in now, or maybe tuning in at a later point?
Use this time to sharpen the saw. Come back with all your guns blazing. I'm serious because we are in a competitive business. Lisa and I have speaking roles that they see people in LA and New York for. And our best compliment is when the director says, oh my God, I love these Boston people. They're so good. And that comes from sharpening the saw. It's like anything else. You got to keep it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And I might just add, if there's a silver lining on all this, it's an opportunity to sharpen your saw. It's an opportunity to finish writing, go shoot that one page.
Right.
Any other suggestions that you might recommend, or you're hearing that other people are doing right now? I mean, obviously, being able to get you on at this point, we all should have been out in the field right now. But the silver lining is we're able to do this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, all of our casting directors and teachers are kind of available for that sort of thing, coaching and teaching, and that might never happen again. Heather, who's in our office, who's a phenomenal acting teacher and casting director, she doesn't have this kind of time to teach 6 actors at a time, and now she can. So
Right.
improv teachers, people have a little bit more time, so you should use that and go to the experts and get practice, get advice.
So Lisa, I may have mentioned to you the last time we spoke, I'm working on a baseball biopic that's rooted in Boston. It's in early stages. At what point do I contact Boston Casting, company like yours? It's not funded at the time.
I was just going to say, after you get your funding,
Okay, there you go.
and then we can start breaking it down and searching for you.
Fantastic. Yeah, because it's a project that I believe deserves to be, obviously the story's set in Boston, deserves to be.
Who is it? Who?
Oh, I can't tell you. I'll tell you afterwards if that's okay.
Okay.
No, it's a great picture, and it's a great story.
Good.
So, yep.
We did Fever Pitch, so
Yeah, I told him that.
with all the Boston movies.
I love seeing all these names. Mike Devine.
Yeah, all our Boston people.
But now I don't see you anymore. I saw you for a second. And Camille.
Yeah. Valerie was on. I wonder who Valerie is, Lisa.
I don't know.
Well, have you guys heard of one of our sponsors, their app called Crew Me Up?
Mm-mm.
All right, so Crew Me Up, for any producers out there, if you're looking for a crew member, is a new app to help you fill in the gaps on those roles. So whether it's a PA that you need, or perhaps a background extra and others, it could be in any department. But it's an app that's coming, and I think it's going to revolutionize the business, and we're going to have them on in May. But it's a really cool app at those last minute needs, and it's all digital and electronic, and it'll be on your iPhone, right?
Put us on there for casting.
Yeah, okay. I'll let the developers know exactly, and it also connects payroll and other things like that. So it's pretty extraordinary app for production.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Mike. This was fun.
Yeah.
Love this.
I would love to have you guys back on. We host our 3-day Northeast Filmmakers Lab, where we bring 12 projects in to meet, and it's looking like we're going to be doing it on Zoom. So I'd love to be in touch with you both and Boston Casting, if your schedules allow. Angela Perry, Lisa LaBelle, thank you so much for being on with us.
Sure.
Thanks to our sponsors, wishing everyone watching a warm holiday blessing for Passover and Easter. Prayers for our loved ones, your family and friends, especially those on the front lines. Please find our complete schedule at cinemaexchange.org. Join us next Thursday, April 16th. Our guest will be from across the pond, Elliot Grave, founder of London's Rain Dancer Film Festival. This is Mike Camoin for Check the Gate. Our gate is good. Moving on, people.
Bye, Mike.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.